It's like, hey, that's right. Yeah. Right on this. I have no idea. It's just, I'm just over.
Hey, this is so. Okay, you gonna be on it now? Okay, it's starting now.
I know there's a restaurant.
Oh. I thought it was, I was surprised not to see it. Yeah. I hadn't expected it to be, but when I saw the market, I thought it would be.
Or use it, as soon as you get ready. We're having this people here.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and open the regular meeting of the Hancock Town Council. I got a bad feedback. Test, test. Is that better? Nope. Test, test. Nope. Can everybody hear me? Twice. Jeez. Yeah, we got a feedback loop here going on. Test, test. Nope. Can you just turn the sound off of the speakers here? Or that wouldn't work. But testing, test. Is it coming out now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, you might have to turn it on if somebody wants to talk. All right. Okay. Can we have the roll call, Debbie?
Sure. Councilmember Figgy,
Present.
Councilmember Grubb, Councilmember Holdren,
Present.
Councilmember Knock,
Here.
Councilmember Pettit,
Here.
Councilmember Quigley,
Here.
and Mayor Foskey.
Here.
Okay, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, consideration of the meeting minutes from our regular meeting on January 26, 2026. Yeah, can we do this first?
Okay.
Yeah, well, no, let's go ahead.
Okay.
Go back.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include the RFQ that was received by the town from Turlington and Governator Engineering PLLCs.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're gonna put it in as council action on 7C. That's okay. All right. Let it be known that Omar just came. You get that? Yeah. Okay, again, consideration of the meeting, do we have a motion to accept the meeting minutes from January 26th?
So moved.
Second.
Anybody, anyone, any more comments? You haven't given them already to Debbie? All those? I'm sorry? Okay, great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Public hearing, we have none scheduled. Couple announcements before, in case people wanted to leave later in the meeting. We're going to have a special meeting on the 16th of this month. It's going to be a closed session to continue with trying to find a new town manager. The Berkeley group is coming to present the candidates, and we're going to go over them and see who we want to do final interviews with and things like that. So no, we're not going to hire anybody at that meeting, but it will be will be an open meeting, and then we'll go directly into closed session. And that meeting is on from 4 o'clock on the 16th, which is a Monday. Okay. We'll advertise it. That's coming up. All right. All right. All right. Public presentation. Northeast Park, Siobhan and Thelma. Do you want to wait until she gets here? That's fine. Okay. We'll go on to council discussion, Sunset Park. Ann?
It's just a quick update. I've been working with the Waterfront Committee to make sure we have a common understanding of the current state and to make sure we understand what had originally been planned. And so we're getting our bearings. And then in collaboration with the committee, we have a bench that may be available for the waterfront. We're going to see if that in fact is a good fit. And then we'll continue to work with the committee and see if they have any other ideas, and then contingent upon funds. You know, they may, I think there was some discussion about bollards and potentially another bench. So I would say, fact-finding and deliberating.
And you're going to come back with a plan for us at some next meeting or the meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
great. All right. Thank you. Okay. Well, that's pretty straight. All right. Guess we'll move on to council action. Property license agreement, Custis Park. I have an interest in this, so I'm going to recuse myself from this discussion. Turn it over to Bill Porter, town manager here.
You have in your packet a short resolution as well as an agreement that hold harmless the owners, the mayor, family of what is the Custis Park. It has been determined that that land belongs to them, and they should be held harmless when it's being used by the public. An example of this is in other areas where I've worked. There was a lake and children were drowning, so to kind of find some way to help teach children to swim. We had no public swimming pool. So people came forward and offered us to be able to use their pool to teach swimming lessons. And so we entered such agreements as you have here to ensure that they were held harmless because they were being used for public use. And my recommendation to you is the adoption of the resolution and authorization to sign the agreement with the Foskis for the use of the property for public purposes.
I had one question about the lease. It does talk about permanent structures or improvements would stay with the property. What is down there right now? I know there's the little library and a bench. Is there anything else that would stay?
Not that I'm.
Okay.
I move that we adopt the resolution.
Oh, you want to read it?
Read the whole license or read the,
No, just the resolution.
okay, let me find it. Resolution authorizing the interim town manager to sign the property license agreement for public park use. Whereas the Town of Annencock Town Council wishes to enter a license agreement with Janet and Fletcher Foskey for the use of a portion of property known as Custis Park. Now therefore be it resolved that the interim town manager be and hereby is authorized to sign the property license agreement, quote, the agreement, close quote, to be dated actually March 4th, 2026.
I'll second it.
So is there any discussion, any questions? Just as clarification, this is land that until a recent survey, everybody thought the town owned. And in the recent survey, it was determined that the lines were not changed when Ames Street was widened in the 70s for the construction of the quote new Ames Street Bridge. And as a result of that lack of an update to the documents, they thought, and everybody thought, the town thought that the town owned that little corner that was town owned had shifted to the west. But the land is still where it is and what it is. And so this is acknowledging that this is still a public park and the town does not own it, but the town has right to use it. And the Foskis are protected from claims against them if somebody should be hurt there.
Just to be clear, are you talking about where the Christmas tree goes up?
Yes,
Just that tip or?
from the fence to the corner.
Okay.
Like the bushes, right?
Yeah.
The bushes.
Okay, just where the tree is, where the tree goes.
Yeah.
In the food box, whatever.
The library box
Okay.
and the plantings and the bench. That just as a reminder to everybody, that name Custis Park is in honor of a former Public Works employee, longtime Public Works employee Robert Custis, who gave a lot of time and a lot of thought and a lot of work to his work for the town. So this central place in town honors his legacy, and I'm glad we have an opportunity for that to continue.
Sure, I just have a comment. What you just read, I think is very helpful. It provides enough detail so that we know what we're voting on. Everyone, I'm assuming the text of that resolution will be included in the minutes.
I would think so.
So I think providing that level of detail is really helpful, so that, next week, if we look back on it, we'll know what we did.
Okay, so any other questions or discussion before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, do we need a roll call? Okay, thank you. Motion opposed? There's nobody left to vote. The motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on. Thelma's here? Yeah, okay. Javon, you guys are up.
Good evening, everyone. We're here because we wanted to give a project update and do a funding request for the Northeast neighborhood. Oh, sorry.
Is that mic on?
Oh, I probably can lift it up some.
Just want to be sure that
Yeah.
people on Zoom can hear.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And so my name is Javon Smith, and I am a lifelong resident of Anancock. I grew up right down the street here in the Northeast community. And I'm here along with Thelma to give a project update and funding request for the Northeast neighborhood revitalization. I first wanted to share what has already been done. Back in October, the OBCA gave a presentation about a plan to add shrubbery and shade to the town park. 12 trees and bushes were planted, and that was all taken care of already. What we're back now for is because we wanted to get into step 2, which is a request to purchase benches, tables, garbage cans, to rename the park and to further enhance. The Northeast Playground is the heart of the neighborhood that I grew up in, and I feel that it is a resource for the whole town of Anacog. And to increase its usage, we feel like funds are needed. Well, funds are needed to increase its usage, specifically with getting more shade, which has already been taken care of, quality big picnic tables, standalone benches, and trash can. So with the help of the OBCA, they went out and priced a few items that we would need in step 2, which was purchasing 3 picnic tables, 2 standard and 1 ADA compliant, 3 metal park benches, 2 metal garbage cans, and 6 concrete pads to sit and bolt everything down on. We also request that the OBCA price to be at $13,467. Additional funding was also determined, is requested for beautification and renaming. We want to design and install a new park sign. The park sign there has been there since I was, a little kid. It used to, it was about this big and used to have bars across. I think we're holding on to 1 or 2 bars now, and the name has, begun to fade. And then we thought to just encourage more usage that we would try to ask for approval to rename the park from the Northeast community. Even myself growing up, that's not a name that I ever heard of besides just looking and reading on the sign. So we were just thinking of maybe the community and everyone together just coming up with something and doing like a nice, dedication ceremony this fall, inviting the whole town out to do that. One of the concerns that we had was the timing of all of this happening outside of the funding cycle. I know you guys are going into a new fiscal year this summer, but we were trying to see if we could get this done before then, especially specifically because the basketball courts was redone and we love it. We think it's great. And what we wanted to do is see if we could have something in place so that the kids in the neighborhood and the entire town of Anacog would have something in full to enjoy this summer. And our just concern was pushing it into the next funding cycle. It would be a project that would be pushed into the fall, and it wouldn't be able to be fully enjoyed until next summer again. And that was my pitch. And then
adding on to what Javon said, unfortunately, that's what happened to us when we got the Jungle Gym bars there. They didn't put them in until November. And I personally got a chance to take my great granddaughters, and we went and we spent time there, like a whole afternoon, but it was chilly. So that first year, because it came so late, we weren't able to enjoy it. Now we have somewhere to go. They love the swings, they love the park, but when I go, I don't have anywhere to sit down. So I have to stand up while they're swinging or on the slide or wherever, So we do need these picnic tables there. And I know that this is, most of the time, these things are put in the budget before the new budget cycle starts. So we don't know what you may have extra on hand that you could do any of this now. But we would, if you can't do all of it, we would ask that whatever you couldn't do, you would possibly add it to your budget for 2026, 2027, so that we could have those things in there. I mean, right now we need the tables now because we're getting ready to go into spring, and we really do need somewhere to sit down. And so I hope that you could give us something. And about the naming of the renaming the playground, we had came up with different names and whatever. And then I talked to Javon last week, and I was like, well, why don't we just put it out for the whole town and let people come up with names, and then whatever ones we get the most names of, that's what we could name it. We could just, and so I suggested him, since he is in charge of the Back to Anacog Day, that maybe he put a Facebook page out there for that, a public page, Facebook page, and that people be able to, comment in what names that they think, because we don't want it to be all about just him or I or just a few people. We want a consensus of what they would think, that the people would think that it should be named.
Yeah, and then we would also want it to be just representative of the whole entire town and not just the Northeast community. Of course, it starts there, but when you think about it, I mean, there's a full basketball court and a full playground. And anything that we can do as far as like pumping some more resources into it to just make that park available for the whole entire town. Because I mean, it's hidden back there in the corner. If you kind of don't know it's there, you won't see it. So there's a couple other phases that we'll get into, you know, later in the future about just how to highlight that area and to kind of just encourage more usage for all the kids and adults across the whole entire town.
I had three questions. One, the first one is financing, Bill. We either would pull it out of a capital improvements plan, or we could pull it out of excess funds that we have. We don't necessarily have to wait till the budget cycle for this kind of amount. Do we have the money?
I'm kind of an old sticks in the mud. I think it should be part of the budget cycle. But if the council wants to do that, we'll look in capital improvements. There may be something where we delay in order to fund that.
All right, that's first question. Second is who would be in charge of, so the town would be in charge of putting the pads in and stuff like that, correct? Okay, so we're not going to give the money to OBCA, we're going to do it ourselves, correct? So do you have a plan of where you want the stuff to go that you could, if we agree to this, that you could reach out to Bill and give us, our Public Works people, a plan where that stuff's going to go and what you, okay, third question is the Back to Anacog. When is that date?
It's gonna be June 27th.
June the 27th, okay. Right, okay. Be nice to get it done before then. Yeah, all right. Okay, so that's the questions I had. I'm open to council. And,
I have a comment and a
Sure.
couple questions. First of all, thank you so much for your presentation. It's, you know, it's a wonderful area and we're glad to be able to support it when we can. And I also appreciate your sensitivity about the fact that we're kind of in that in-between space because of course we don't want to spend money that we don't have. And I think it's not unreasonable to give Bill some time to figure out if we have it in current funds. One thing I'd also like to suggest to OBCA or anybody else that comes to us with a recommendation like this, I think it will help us over the long term if we get some additional information, like say about the benches. Like, and might not be the best example, but like, what's the lifespan of the bench?
Sure.
What's the maintenance of the bench? So, for example, a wooden bench might need to be oiled or sealed periodically so that over the long term, we can flag so that we know in X amount of years, we need to be prepared to upgrade or repair or replace to ensure that we're supporting that park.
And that research has been done. I can certainly.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Pass it over.
And we were doing it basically too on the premises of how the playground is down here.
Good.
Because before we got our playground upgraded, I used to bring my great grandkids down here, but I had to put them in the car and bring them.
Yeah.
And they have the pads down and the tables are cemented into those pads so that people can't just arbitrarily steal them. Because it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody in our neighborhood, you know, that's
Right.
not lit
Yeah.
at night. So anybody could go in there if it was loose and you could just walk away with it. So that's why we wanted the concrete pads.
And just one other quick question. I was really glad they were able to get the plants in, even though it was kind of late. Are the plants doing okay? Are they, you know,
Well,
did we get a setup where people were able to water them and everything so that they're,
well, they're working on water now, but there's no water out there. They're working on it. Yeah.
I mean, when they were like right after they were planted, I mean, do they seem to be doing okay? That's okay if you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They look.
Excuse me, I can talk to both the benches and, okay, so I'm from the OBCA.
What, if you,
And,
you want to,
Yeah, we can't hear you back there.
thank you for doing such a nice presentation.
No, thank you.
Very
Oh, yeah.
good, very good. Yeah, so we're all working together. And actually, we have clear benches that we're going to purchase along with the ADA. Tables are wonderful because, you know, sometimes with the picnic tables, when you're trying to get in them, they're like knocking your knees. And these actually have the pipes that come down and they're really easy for people of all ages to slip into. And then the concrete, we've got it all really spec'd out for quality, good stuff, metal, and then also not wood because that splinters.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I can give you all that information. I'd be happy to do so. And then the trees and I just was out there, I was looking, everything looks fine. And also, I can't think of the man's name at the nursery. Everybody.
Drew Alvaway.
Yeah, all right. So if there was going to be any issues with any of the plants, because they did put them in so late, he said he'd be happy to replace them. Yeah.
Yeah, going around, Lisa.
I just was interested in about the metal benches. Do they have something on them to protect them in the heat?
I think Jeff Vernim, he has that information.
Okay.
I don't have that with me,
Okay.
but we'll definitely get the answer to those
Okay.
notes that you provided.
Sorry, it's the like ASAC board.
Oh, yeah. A metal bench with stuff on top of them. Yeah, I've seen, yeah. Yeah.
Their stuff is.
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah. Okay, anybody going around? Go ahead.
I know we have some newer members on the council, but the council paid a fair amount of money for Hill Studio to come up with a plan to standardize the sorts of benches, fixtures, and that sort of thing that we had around town. So I would recommend that everyone look at that, since we have that study and what was recommended to us for the town. And Javon, I can give you the link to it on our website. I'm sorry you went to the trouble to do all that. We already had recommendations, but we would, at the time, the council wanted to kind of standardize the items we were purchasing across the town.
Yeah, we're very open to alternatives for sure.
Anybody else? Sarah?
Thank you. And I'm of two minds on the funding. I agree with Bill as far as the budget cycle, but I'm also sensitive to the fact that the basketball court lost all of last summer because of delays in getting that work done. So I want us to do what we can to make it more available for more of the summer this year in the rest of the park. So if there are, my feeling would be that if there is latitude to be able at least to provide some of the funding for the phase 2 sooner than the next budget year, that would be a good thing.
Thank you, because that delay that happened last summer, that's just the main source of the urgency that we have, and that's where it really kind of starts and stops for us.
Understood.
Yeah.
Ashley?
Yes, I would have a question in terms of the lighting, the nighttime lighting in the area.
Oh, we actually don't want nighttime lighting there because we don't want the kids in the park after dark. Even though we have a camera there, town has a camera there, we still don't want them there after dark. That's one of the reasons why before we were requesting the last several years, we didn't do any lighting.
But also at the same time, without the lights being there, it kind of makes it like a little hidden area where you can't really see what's going on there at night. So even if there was something going over there, I think the neighbors across the street wouldn't even be able to see back there because it gets really dark back there. So both those.
It's street lights.
So
It is two.
I'm hearing conflicting reports about the lighting.
Just all to be considered.
Okay.
The whole park.
So you don't want people playing basketball out there at night, but you do want enough light to catch somebody doing anything wrong.
Correct.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay, thank you. Omar?
Great presentation. Like I was back there, I was at the basketball court Sunday. I believe Sunday was the day I was there. And I can see it coming together. And like you're saying, yes, we do need the benches and the tables and everything is good. I like what you guys are doing. And, like I said, hopefully we can find the money to fund, to get this stuff started. So with that being said, does that mean we are trying to have the picnic back in the Northeast? Because it was at school last year.
So I think what we've kind of thought about doing is keeping it down at the school for this Saturday type thing. And then maybe Sunday, as people are venturing in and out, we could have a small little picnic there, because the way that the basketball court was shifted around, it kind of took up a lot of empty space that we used to kind of like set up tents and camp out. So I think with the volume of people that we have coming in, that space is just not going to cut it for
Right,
that
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, 'cause I did notice
But
that.
but with any sort of improvements, we would like to invite people down that Sunday to do something in that
Okay.
space, just so everybody could see it.
All right.
Good.
Uh,
you.
You're welcome.
Final comment from me is that we kind of, this was sort of in the plan about a year and a half ago to put benches and, something out there. We just spent an inordinate amount of money from our reserves on a sign coming in town and on a police station and stuff. So I personally feel like that we need to take it out. I understand what you're saying, but this is kind of a promise we made to the neighborhood. It's up to you all, but
Well, I do feel that we need to look at the Hill Studios. We need to be thoughtful on
Yeah.
that. And until Bill can come up with a solution for funding in this year,
well, we have
maybe we can
we have
put this as a-
$1.5 million in reserve that it isn't earmarked for anything. So we're looking at $16,000 and we just spent $70,000 on an entry sound. So, to me, it's up to you all, but
Part of that was all ARPA funds though,
No,
or supposed to be,
it wasn't.
but
okay.
it was supposed to be
I
ARPA
know, yeah,
projects.
I know, but no, that's up to you all, but,
I'm not.
that's my
I think
opinion.
would you guys be okay if we postpone this till the April for actual action? So we can look at the specs on the benches, figure out the funding side of it?
The end of this month.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
This is-
The real March meeting.
Yeah, it's only 3 weeks away. Yeah, it's not going to slow it down much. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as long as there's some sort of action, what I don't want to do is lose another month and then potentially derail what could happen in June. I mean, if that is any sort of a risk, then if I get a chance to be honest, I would say considered. I do understand what we're asking and the timing that we're asking. So that part of me wants to say yes, but my major concern, again, as we just said a while ago, is just the delay of it all. It's just not something that we really want to delay it, unless we absolutely have to.
Well, my sense is that we do support it. We just need to be smart about how we do it and just need some time to
Okay.
look at the budget and be prudent about how we proceed.
Okay.
As well as what we purchased.
Yeah, so
Yes.
Okay.
my hope would be that between now and the March 23rd meeting,
Gather.
that the
Okay.
Hill Studios suggestions could be bumped up against the selections that have been made to make any adjustments of what to purchase, as well as being able to review the financials to see how much of it we would be able to do.
Okay.
I have a question.
But even for the fact that even when they said that, it's gonna be 3 tables, 3 benches, 2 garbage cans, I mean, can they please, let's do 2 tables or 1 table and 2 benches, what I'm saying, break it down little bits at a time and, just. to
I have a
get it
feeling
started.
the biggest priciest thing on here is the 6 concrete pad.
Yeah, you don't want to do just one of those. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I have a question. Bill, are any of these items available under state contract? Or do you know?
I honestly don't know.
Well, maybe if you could find that out, it might reduce the cost of it.
Yeah, once we know exactly what we're looking for, that we can do that and using the old study, we can look to see.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
So we're coming back, council action, we're gonna wait until the 3 weeks. So we're gonna, and you're gonna find some information out before now and then. Yeah, because I thought they presented these benches to us back in November.
Yeah, but the original cost was 24,000.
Yeah, but I thought they gave us pictures and things like that then.
They,
And
I don't remember the details.
I think they might have, so.
You're going to be paid for $65,000 for a study only to ignore it.
Well, I'm not saying that, but But it's not part of the, I mean, it's not part of the, I mean, it's part of the town, but it's
It's a town
totally separate
reserve.
area. I know, it's a totally separate area. If you did different benches, nobody's ever going to notice it.
Well,
We
there's
need
the
to
area
get
of the
good.
kayak wharf. We might eventually put.
No,
them both.
no, I agree with you. I think we need, that area is next to the wharf. They're common as, and you know, you all see them together. But when you drive up to the Northeast Park or you go to the Little League Park, they're kind of separate areas of town. So.
Well, there's, my thought is that, or my hope is that in addition to the design appearance of
Right.
what's in that report,
Right.
that there would be, that it would have been filtered for good quality, long-lasting items.
We'd have to look at that. I don't know how.
It'd be the same benches.
I don't know. I don't know how much depth they got in it, what kind of benches, or was it just a drawing that they got off the pad? you know?
With the AZAC, and so, I mean,
Yeah, no.
maybe that's something we like for the whole town. I don't know.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't really picked out, we just,
Dana's
we bought
better.
2 benches already that nobody picked out, so, you know,
Don't they have benches and stuff at the park behind the school?
yeah, but that was, they
We-
purchased,
They
we
bought
didn't buy
those.
those, they weren't town funding.
I understand that, but I'm saying, oh, okay.
Yeah, that wasn't town funding.
Maybe the same benches.
Yeah, well, I think we need to, obviously, we need to look at the, plan and see, yeah, what.
I'm afraid there's been some confusion just because Jeff, who really was leading this whole effort and had a lot of this information, I was thinking that he would have given it to you guys, and I'm sorry he did not. I, however, do have all that information, and actually we tried to get grants from United Way and also Community Foundation, so I laid it all out like grants, and I'll be more than happy to send all of that to you guys tomorrow so you can really see it. It's, you know, it's written like a grant, so you can really see the impact and the nature of the benches, the picnic tables, the fine quality that they are going to last. And you know, they're pricey. I wish that they weren't as pricey, but they're going to last. Now they might not be exactly like the Hill Street ones, but they're probably pretty close. But if you'd like, I'd be more than
just send
willing
everything to
send you
Bill.
all that tomorrow.
Send it to Bill and we'll look at, we'll forward it, yeah. So
Alright.
so we'll look at it between now and 3 weeks from now, and,
Thank you.
sounds like
And
that-
I'm sorry for the confusion.
sounds like that's the consensus of the council. We're going to bring this back at March meeting.
That works.
Okay, okay, so no vote on that. Okay, all right. Okay, they were bound to property license, we did that. Council action B, the vote on the OMS matching grant. Lisa, is that you?
Yes, it is. And just, there's been a typo on the agenda page. The downtown investment grant is actually 25,000. The total we're requesting for grant matches is 45,000. Just to clear that up real quick. We presented our year in review to town council in January, along with our request for funds for the grant matches. The reason why we're asking you to do it before we actually see the budget is because I've got a grant that closes before our March 23rd meeting. So I need to know now whether or not we will have those funds available to utilize for this grant match. And if not, I won't be able to apply for the grants. The first one is a marketing leveraging program grant. It is a 1-to-1 match. So we are requesting $20,000 from the state, $20,000 from the town. It has gotten very, very competitive the last few years. We have not been fully funded, but council has been very gracious to still release the full 20 to us so that we could do more of our marketing plan than less based on the state allocation. And we see real impact from these marketing dollars. The second one is the downtown investment grant, and we're looking at doing some downtown lighting projects and potentially tying in the town sign so that you have that fluidity where you kind of get that big bang as you're coming into town with the lights, which would then carry on into the downtown. And that is being coordinated with the town directly. So those are the 2 grant matches that we're asking for your support on today to put into your budget for next year.
And I'm sorry, what was the amount on the dig?
It's 25,000. That's a 2-to-1 match. So we get 50,000 for 25,000.
I'm confused about what you just said, something, another amount, that amount didn't jive with anything
Well,
here,
The VTC is 20,000
right?
and the dig is 25,000. There was a misprint on the,
Oh, 25,000.
yeah, so the total request is 45,000.
So this is,
Allocated to us this year.
so this is coming out of next year's fiscal budget?
Yes.
Okay, so you're just asking for,
Yeah, asking for it to be put in the budget, but I need a commitment prior to us adopting the budget.
okay, so this is not unsolicited money that's, okay.
No, it's not money that,
I understand. So you need a commitment from us that we're gonna put it in
Yes.
the budget. Okay. Okay. All right, do we have discussion on this? Do we have a motion to do?
I'd like to discuss.
Well, let's put a motion out first.
Okay.
Yeah, we usually, you have to have a motion
you
out.
want to do them both in one shot or you want to do them
Sure. Well,
separately?
it's up to you if you want to, if you have, it, you know, let's do it one at a time.
Okay, I'd like to move that Nancock Town Council approve $20,000 for a grant match for Nancock Main Street for the purposes of the VTC Marketing Leveraging Grant.
A second,
Second it.
okay, discussion, Ann?
So I think OMS does a lot of great things. There's no question it's worthy. Matching funds is like free money with a little bit of work for the grant application. So I applaud all of that. But given that we don't have a budget yet, I think it would be prudent to be very deliberate in what we agree to support here tonight. And so I would request that we be very clear that we're voting on the matching funds only, and that those funds will match the amount of the grant award. And so if the grant's 10, the match is 10. And then if we choose in the budget process to provide additional money to OMS, which we may very well may, that we would address that as a separate line item in the budget. I think it's more fiscally responsible and more clear, and then we know exactly what we're talking about here.
It is in the budget where you can see the annual contribution from the town paying out to OMS. And then there's another line item for the grant match purposes. So I think that helps you see the clarity.
When do you know about the grants?
As soon as the governor announces the winners, sometimes we wait because the governor doesn't want to
Well,
announce. it right away.
when is that time frame?
We'll know by the summer, but nothing will start until July 1st because they're.
We won't know by the end of the budget cycle, okay. all right.
They know one. I don't think
Okay.
we'll know
Okay.
the dig, but maybe.
And when is the application due?
So the VTC is due this month, and I don't remember the date. It's like the 16th or something. And Maggie's online, but she can't answer.
But the VTC is something we've done every year, right?
You guys have done both of this every year.
Right, okay, all right,
And this was the exact same funding we asked for last year and received for grant purposes.
all right. Any further discussion on this?
Well, excuse me. One of the things I wanted you to consider is that the motion say the grant match up to $20,000.
Okay, I'll amend the motion to say up to $20,000.
Okay,
Second.
okay, second on that? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Oh, that was just the first one. That was just 20,000. Okay, now we're
So
on.
wait, I just want to be clear. If it's
Yeah, but
if it's funds up to the awarded amount to be used only to match the awarded amount,
right. Well, we
and
just voted
that's
on a motion already.
it.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so then I would have to be a nay if that's not clear.
Who made the motion?
I did.
I think it was clear, isn't it?
Was it? That's what I just want to be sure of.
Well, is everybody
I don't
understanding
think-
that? Oh, yeah, we can, yeah.
The one thing I don't want to get into is if we don't get fully funded by the state, I would still like to come back and ask that you.
Well, you can do that, but she's saying that it wouldn't be in the original.
That would be a separate activity.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay.
And it's not about OMS. I'm just talking about being prudent about.
Was
when
everybody happy with that?
when we approve funding
Okay,
requests.
so can you reflect that in the minutes?
What you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying, to not commit to, you said,
Any more
the
than
20,000 immediately, but for whatever they say, I agree with that.
Okay.
So I don't know if the emotion reflected that.
Can we amend the motion?
Absolutely.
Well, Bill, what did you get?
I think what you did was do that.
Okay.
What the motion was to match up to $20,000.
Yeah, just match.
Okay.
Yeah, just match.
VTC grant.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
just match. So match is a match. So we're not going to go above, if they don't go above it, correct? Yeah. We're not going to match more than they
Well-
get. I understand what you're saying, yeah.
I just want to be abundantly clear.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
Because would be easy X months down the road
Yeah.
to say, oh, well, the grant was 10, but we approved up to 20, so we'll just.
Well, we
we'll
just approved to match it. So, so I think we're safe.
Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah,
just,
okay.
Every year we come back to council if that's
yeah,
the case.
I think
and
we're
they
good with that
discipline
wording.
it, Then would you still consider
Right.
relinquish it
Right.
for a bigger impact?
Yeah, I think we're okay. All right, so, so I need a motion on the OMS, the same thing for the OMS matching grant for the,
Yeah, I move that town council consider. Okay, okay.
She said that, so what is the official?
up to, we were match
Up
up to
to.
20,000, but the word match has to be in there. Yeah.
That's up to 20. 'Cause she's,
if it is if up to 20 means that we will match the award amount exactly,
Yeah.
and that these funds will not be used for any other purpose, then I will be in a yes.
Okay.
That's
I think,
why it
that-
says up to whatever the match is.
yeah, well, yeah, I think we're clear on that. The match is, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so need a motion for Virginia Main Street.
I'd like to move that town council consider allotting $25,000 to OMS for the purposes of a grant match for the Virginia Main Street Downtown Investment Grant.
Okay, so there again, we got, make that clear that we're going to match only up to what, that we're only going to match up what the state gives you.
Up to.
Yeah, okay. Right. Discussion?
Gotta get a second.
A
Are you
second.
gonna second it? Sarah?
Okay.
Sorry.
Discussion?
So I would just like to say that, $45,000 is not nothing.
Right.
And I think we have some uncertainty as to what we're going to be looking at in the coming year. So I'm not saying no in my comments right now, but I think we should just all think through and do this with the awareness that, we don't know where we're going to be when we do the budget. So,
Let me look up what date this one closes, because I think it's the middle of April. But
We still won't have adopted a budget by then.
exactly.
Well, could I comment that to me, this is an investment in the town. It isn't, you have a group of volunteers that does nothing but work to invest in the town. And it's, to me, money well spent if we're getting the results that you expect to get.
Well, if we put this in, if we vote to do this and we get into the budget cycle and we decide not to do it, and we vote not, it's not, I mean, then we've applied for the grant, but then if we get it, we just have to accept it, correct? Is that the end of the world, or can we do that? I mean,
I'm sorry, one more time.
if we agree to this and we apply for the grant, and then it turns out the council,
Then
during
we
the
don't,
budget cycle, we don't have the
then-
money.
Then you don't release the funds to us.
Yeah, we don't get the grant.
But if you can't tell me that you're going to support it and write a letter of support to the grantor and then
Well, we
pull
would-
the funds back after that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure, yeah, I'm just throwing that out there as a hypothetical. If we do, we can change,
We're
we-
going to need a letter of commitment from the town for
Well-
both of these grants for the matching funds.
okay. Yeah.
So if you're saying it in writing to a grantor, that's exactly what they're expecting you to do.
Right, I understand what you're saying now. So that, forget what I just said. Yeah, yeah, all right. Well, so we've already passed the first one, so we have a motion here again. Any more comments? Okay, all in favor of this?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, you got that? Okay, so we're gonna, school engineering study. Bill, can you give us an update on that?
Sorry. We have it. The origins and cause report for what caused.
Wait, sorry, this is a different topic. This is the engineering report, engineering.
Oh, I'm sorry,
RFP.
I'm sorry.
That's
That's the wrong engineer. We put out an RFQ for engineering services. And it was not engineering services for any specific job. You do not have an engineer on staff. There are times when you need an engineer to review proposals, to help develop specifications. You have the roof and the HVA system at the school. You have no engineer on staff. And so what we decided to do was to put out an RFQ, request for proposal, for a firm that when you called them, they would serve as your engineer. There is no payment unless there is a call and an agreement. In that agreement, scope of services would be brought to you, town council, for approval. What this does is give us an engineering firm that is there. We don't have to go out and search and try to find one. The engineering firm of Turlington and Governator is a local firm. They have connections with everybody from land surveyors to geotechnical engineers. And so they could go out and pull in whatever specialties were needed. And so you don't have to go out and look each time you have a job. We can go to that engineer and develop a scope of services. And I recommend that you accept the proposal, and we are ready to enter an agreement because you do have two projects which really do need engineering services.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this, hire these people as our consulting engineer?
I move that we approve this proposal to hire the firm of Turlington and Governator.
Second?
Second.
Okay, the discussion, anybody?
So what is the, I know I sent an email to you. Oh, sorry. I sent an email to you earlier asking about the fiscal side of this. And you said that no money would exchange hands until we utilize their service. So in terms
Yeah.
of the contract, is it for so many years or do they need
It's for 2 years
for 2 years?
with a 2-year extension.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Okay, you'll get in touch with them and let them know.
One of them's in the room.
All right.
I think he's here.
That's right. Okay. Alrighty. Committee reports, Planning Commission, Cindy?
The Planning Commission did meet this month. We began discussing the topic you'd asked that we discuss about comparing the ordinances for B1 and B2 for possible revisions. And McGowan agreed to draft some revisions to bring back to the Planning Commission at the next meeting. After that, we worked again on the comprehensive plan and began discussing that further. And now I think we're at the phase of beginning to draft the plan itself in sections that we're each working on.
Okay, any questions? All right, economic development, Ann?
We'll be meeting on the 18th. That will be my first meeting, but I do have a report. We are getting payments from the Lewiston agreement, so that's working out well. As soon as the upstairs unit got their certificate of occupancy, the payments started to come in. By the end of this month, we'll have accrued $20,000, and that will be $65,000 by the end of the year, if none of those funds are dispersed. In our next meeting, we'll discuss how we will initiate low-interest loans using those funds, including the parameters, how people will apply, how they'll be marketed, and so on. And the EDA is certainly open to ideas and suggestions from the public about that process. And that's what we'll be talking about when we meet later this month.
I have one comment, if that's okay. The criteria in which the Littleton building got the funds, and I don't, there's like 3 of them, and one was a blighted property and empty. My understanding was when the town first applied for that loan grant, that the next one would have to also fall under those 3 criterias that were presented. Now, we don't have a whole lot of properties that actually fit those criterias in town. So I would definitely check in with DHCD and see exactly what you can do going forward with those funds.
Yep, we'll discuss that
Yeah.
when we meet.
Put that on your
Thank you.
radar.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Can I say something real quick? I'm not sure that that actual grant did require that. I think it was discussed that the EDA could set it up to have it fall under the same grant parameters. Fletcher, do you remember?
I don't think,
I didn't think it had to, I think
No, I
they
think
could
I-
choose to do how they
No,
wanted.
I don't think so. I think.
You think it was the other way?
Yeah.
Like
I think it's the
Lisa
other way
said?
around. I
Okay.
think they're,
Right.
well, I think you need to talk with the state. Let's let the EDA, yeah, that, they'll look into that, yeah. We can give them the names of the people they need to talk to, yeah. All right, any other questions about the EDA? Good, meeting is coming up, all right, yeah.
Oh, I should also say we have 2 vacancies. I think it's a really great way to be engaged and provide an important service to the town. So if there is anyone of interest, or if you know anyone that might be interested, please do inquire about it.
What's the process for that?
Well, I think I'd send an email to the EDA,
Right, so when you,
And if
when you
we're-
go to the website, our website, there's a pop-up that says, if you're interested, send an email to Katie.Schwab. I can't remember if it's .eda or eda@onancock.com.
Okay.
After that, I don't know the details. I assume it's
she would forward it to us and we'd have to
you
appoint the person.
submit a,
Yeah,
right, submit
they
a
can also-
resume and
They can submit them to
letter.
me
and-
directly to me too, if they want to.
Yeah.
But since we're appointing it, I don't know why. Yeah.
Well, you would want them to
Yeah,
vet
yeah.
their own.
Yeah, either way, we'll make sure that, yeah, it's not like, yeah, but please, we need, be nice to get some people on there, yeah. And you don't have to live in the town to be on the
Nope, you
EDA,
can be in
in the county.
well, you can be, you gotta be touching Onancock. You can't be in like Parksley and be on on the EDA, but you could be in only because we touch in the county.
He lived in Maryland, he lived.
That was Virginia.
But Bill,
Yeah.
I don't understand touching, but it's
Bill,
okay.
well, he's not in our actual town, but he's in our zip code, isn't he?
Yes,
Chandler?
yes, yes.
So yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to be.
Yeah, I
actually
think
located
anybody in
there.
23417 zip code can apply, yeah, which does not include only though, yeah.
I think it does.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, it's not like we have tons of people applying.
No.
Yeah, so, yeah, anyway,
Won't let anything stop you if you're interested.
Yeah,
We'll
please.
make Sure.
yeah, we'll get, please, just make sure you're a Virginia resident, though. We need that. Yeah, okay, anyway, all right, EDA, community reports, Hancock Main Street, Lisa.
Onancock Main Street has been hosting several business workshops for the, and not just for Onancock businesses, but we invite the chamber, we invite Cape Charles Main Street, we invite other organizations and that benefit as well. The last one we had was February 2nd, which was hosted at Mallard's at the Wharf. We had 3 marketing professionals discuss topics like telling your story through video and social media, creating strategic marketing goals, and branding your business. We had 30 participants, which was great. Our next workshop is actually going to be how to softscape your storefronts. We have 2 speakers, Joni Donahoe, who has a background in horticulture and landscaping design, and Keith Andes, who has a background in design. That event will be at Bread and Butter, our new restaurant, on March 9th from 3 to 5. We wrapped up our Valentine's season promotions. These promotions were funded by the Virginia Tourism Corporation Micro Business Grant. We created a Valentine's web page on our website, experienceinhancock.com, which promoted local businesses and their specials that they had through the Valentine's season. We directed people to our Valentine's page through radio ads, newspaper ads, paid social media, web banners, and on Shore Talk. Javon was there as well. Our paid social media had over 53,000 views, while our organic posts had over 10,000 views. Maggie Grant, our program manager, recently attended the Virginia Main Street Directors Retreat in Luray, Virginia. She connected with other Main Street directors, learned about available resources, and returned with new ideas on how to market the town. And very excitingly, we met with our Virginia Main Street rep, Kyle, last week to go over our reaccreditation, and we have been reaccredited through Main Street USA and Virginia Main Street.
Okay, any questions for him? Okay. Historic and Hancock School, sir.
It has been quite an interesting few weeks since our last meeting at the Historic and Hancock School. If there's anybody who has not yet heard, There was a fire in the basement on Saturday, January 31st. The fire damage itself was limited, but smoke and soot pervaded the building, and all the occupants and their materials had to be removed in order to allow for the restoration work, which is underway. There were a few exceptions to that of things that would be either extremely difficult to move or that were able to be moved around within the space and not have to be taken completely out. But essentially, everything is out. And there's a team working through the insurance company. There was a $2,500 deductible that for the claim beyond which the insurance is covering the work. Many, many thanks to the people who discovered the fire and reported it, to the fire department, to the police, to community members who saw what was going on and pitched in to help in any kind of way, providing storage, providing alternate studio space, providing muscle to and trucks to move things out. It was a huge effort, and it is a huge effort. The temporary office for the school is in the front room of the Welcome Center. And so that has been good to have a place for work to be able to continue to oversee all of this as it's going. Thanks also to the community college, which featured the Historic Nancock School at their Winter Arts Festival on Saturday, opened up opportunities for school tenants to exhibit their works and sell, as well as for a table to be there with information about the school as a whole. We don't know yet fully how long it's going to take before people can begin to move back in. The hope is that some of the studios will be able to start back again sooner, the ones on the north side where there was less damage.
I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fletcher says that may not happen. Anyway, so there's a lot that's still underway. It's going to be a long process, but the progress is encouraging, and the effort and the support are very encouraging. There have been multiple tenant meetings to talk about how to proceed to be able to meet together and just be together, since they're not able to be together at the school. And also, I want to say thank you to the council for approving the engineer so that the work can get going on the roof and the HVAC. That opens the door for that next step, apart from the fire. Any questions?
Bill, did you want to add something about what's going, you know more about what's going on with the insurance and the work actually going on over there?
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yes.
impressive.
The insurance company is actually doing the payments. There are no payments that are running through the town. They have a consultant, the Wilson Agency, with a fellow by the name of David Wilson, that approves the payments, and the insurance company pays it. Quite frankly, I thought that was the best way to go, because probably somewhere in this process, you'll be changing town managers, and wanted to have as least disruption in that as we could. The firm that's doing the cleaning may be different, but we don't think so, than the firm that'll do the contracting. It appears that Jenkins will do the contracting on it. The other thing is, for a long time, everybody has wanted to know what caused the fire. We finally have the origin and cause report. Of what caused the fire And if you would like, I'll be glad to read you the conclusion and what the Arson and Calls inspector said. Yeah. Said, based on the fire scene examination, fire pattern analysis, and available information, the fire originated in Unit B, which is down in the basement. Within the basket containing recently laundered towels that had been previously exposed to massage oil. Residue oil within the textiles can undergo exothermic oxidation, which can lead to self-heating when the material is stored in bulk and heat cannot adequately dissipate. The observed damage was consistent with an internal heat source within the towel mask and not competent external ignition source, as identified in the area of origin. Therefore, the fire was caused by spontaneous heating of oil-contaminated linens. I don't know about any of you all, but this was very surprising to me that if you have towels that are oily, unless you wash them in a certain way, they'll retain some of those oils, and if they pile up, heat can build up in them. But talked to one fire inspector, and he said in his garage, any oily rags go in a closed can, metal can. So that is a report of the Arson and Calls.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I guess we were met today with, and it seems like I guess Rick could kind of say that they want to do all the construction at the same time, so they're not going to let people in one of the wings because they want to clean it all and then do all the construction correctly. So they're not going to.
They just want to.
Yeah.
Start in the north wing because they've already
clean that.
cleaned it.
Yeah.
But they won't bring they won't bring the construction crew in. They'll do all the painting and,
Ceiling tile replacement. Yeah.
Till they get toward once they get closer to the south end, then they'll just keep moving, but they can't start and stop.
Right. Right. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
not economically.
Right. Okay. All right. Any questions with council? If you, I don't think the building is exactly open, so you really can't probably go over there and look at it. But if you're a council member, they probably let you in and peek around if you want to. Yeah. It's quite amazing what they've done. There's like, what, 15 people working there every day? Yeah, it's huge.
They
Huge.
work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah. And they've got like these scrubbers all over the building that are, and they've taken, the building is just totally stripped. Yeah. They pulled out even wainscoting, all the ceiling tiles are down. It's quite a change. Yeah. All right. Any questions? Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Sale 250, who's doing that?
I wasn't last meeting because I was out of town, so I'm gonna let Debbie roll with this.
Okay.
Sorry, Boo.
We're just plugging along, just getting all the activity slated for marketing initiatives. Our marketing manager was going to start posting individual events and just trying to push everything. Lisa and I did Shore Talk on the radio a couple weeks ago, continuing to push the event.
You got right. When are the radio ads coming out?
I recorded the radio ads last week. Anytime now, they'll start on WESR. And right now, we're just working towards marketing it and just hoping for a good weekend for everybody.
It is the second
It's Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
next Friday.
That's
Friday
the
the
committee
13th.
meeting. Okay.
I'll be
Yeah.
working on the agenda soon.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any
We'll be
questions?
looking for volunteer list here soon. Probably at the next council meeting, we'll start putting together volunteers for a variety of things.
Yes, a reminder, we do not have a whole ton of staff. We do a lot with a little here in the town of Anacog, so we will definitely need community members to come out and help with the events and the merriment. Yeah, you get a t-shirt and everything that Anne has designed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Debbie. Thanks for the work you're putting on that. Yeah. Public comment, Mark Sinclair.
Good evening, Mark Sinclair, Greenway Circle, just outside of town. First thing I'd like to talk about tonight is trees. As we all know, people love trees in this town. Tourists comment on the beautiful trees that we have. As we all know, this past weekend, our trees got beat to hell. They really did. Really beautiful trees just destroyed. But at the same time, thinking back over the last 4 years when I sit out my back porch, seems like not a day goes by that I don't hear the sound of a chainsaw on another big tree in this town being taken down. I don't disagree with taking down the trees because if it was hanging over my house, I'd probably want to take it down too. But I think you need to start a program to replenish the trees. And what I'd like to recommend you think about doing, anytime one of the licensed tree contractors come into town and spends or charges $1,000 or more, maybe the town ought to think about offering a free tree to that homeowner. So maybe they'll replace it. I mean, a $20 tree is a small price to pay to start, repopulating the trees in this town. Now, while I'm talking about trees, and obviously spring's getting closer because I'm dressed for spring, I'd like to ask if anybody is being trained to spray for mosquitoes. Mosquito spraying is quickly coming upon us. I don't know that you've agreed to or disagreed with doing mosquito spraying or not, but if you don't train somebody, you certainly can't spray anything. And last but not least, I'd like to give my recommendation. I guess Thelma's sitting over here. So my recommendation for the Northeast Park is the Thelma Gillespie Community Park.
Thank you. Rosemary.
Were these out for everybody?
No.
I'm hoping that the council will soon approve the improvements to the Northeast Park. And I think that my understanding is that pretty much the benches and the tables that they want to use there are essentially the same kinds as the ones that are in the school, which work really, really well. The benches that are there now, there aren't any benches, but the tables that are there now, I can't get in and out of. I mean, so it's a pity. And I know that when we were speaking out about the basketball court, it took 3 years for that to happen. And unfortunately, the kids lost all of last summer and it wasn't done till November or something. But, we have to recognize that a large percentage of our population lives in the historic Northeast section and that most of the kids in town live in that section. So, I think they deserve something. And I see money going out for Main Street, which does a fantastic job. I mean, there's no doubt about it, for promotion, for this, for that. They're asking for less money, and we're thinking about it. And Main Street, when they ask for money, it sort of goes through right away. So I think it's really, you have to be fair to everybody in town, not just the downtown business district, but you really have to be fair to people that live in other neighborhoods. The other thing that I want to say, because I know that you're considering a renegotiation of the lease with the Friends of Onancock School, is, as I think all of you know, because I sent all of you a questionnaire, and I published the results in the paper. So maybe you saw that, maybe you didn't. But and I've had people come up to me to say, I didn't send that back, but this is what I think. Most people really want it as a community center. Now, you can call it a community center, and I'm only talking about the school building. I'm not talking about the grounds. You can call it a community center, but if it doesn't service the whole community, it's really not. And the impression in the people in town that have spoken to me or have sent things back to me, most of them are saying, well, it's really something for artists, for, quite frankly, old artists, doing whatever they're doing. And some of them are very good and they're doing, fine work, whatever. But people are looking for that as a community space. And I think if it was a real community space, it would be vibrant And I think it would attract many more families to town. I mean, we're essentially on a certain level, we're a retirement town, but there are families that live here and there are young kids living here now. And they want to avail themselves of activities at the school, of lectures, of cooking classes, of line dancing classes, of whatever. There were hundreds of ideas out there. And I really think that that's something that's a direction that school should go into. It would be much more valuable to the town. It would attract many more people to the town. Thank you.
Karen Pilmer?
I'm Karen Belknap, and I'm a resident artist at the Historic Nancock School. And gosh, based on the last comments, I'm at a crossroads with where to go. But I will reiterate something that was published in the newspaper about a month or so ago. The appropriate place for people to register their comments so that it's transparent is right at this podium. I would suggest that anything that's hearsay or not on public record, I'm all for private conversations, but that is not a reflection of public sentiment. Right here is. Now I'm going to pivot. First of all, about the trees, I would encourage everyone to go to A&N's Arbor Day Festival where you can get free seedlings, as many as you want. There's a ton of them. My husband, Mark, is the natural resource director there, and he puts on that program. He would love to see you. Next, I would like to thank Corey and Destiny. Gosh, I'm going to get emotional. I will tell you, it's been a month.
It's been an emotional time.
It's been an emotional time. My company has used that as a home base for our creative pursuits. And I lost over 80% of my raw materials, and that's a significant amount. I'm going to try to keep it under 3 minutes. Corey and Destiny, wow. It's been emotional for you guys too. Destiny, I think you're online. Thank you for what you've done. Also, I want to disclose that I'm a brand new Wet Behind the Ears member of Friends of Nancock School Board, so I don't know anything yet, but I am speaking as a resident tonight. The school has stood on that ground for more than a century, and as the community knows, the grounds have been a place for education and enrichment for an even longer period of time. For generations, families in this town have passed through those doors. Many of those same family names are still here in town. The school's not just a structure, it's a part of the memory of this community. In the weeks since the fire, we've witnessed something remarkable. Hundreds of neighbors showed up in many different ways. They carried boxes, they offered space, they sent messages, they asked what was needed and fulfilled those needs. That kind of response doesn't happen for something that is temporary or peripheral. It happens for something people value and believe in. This community, which comes together time after time for those things, ideas, institutions, and friends that they value, showed up. There are myriad different ways of affirming the school, and those that call it their creative and recreational home was an encouragement too large for words. At our resident meeting last week, artist after artist and resident after resident said the same thing. We are not done. The fire did not finish us or the school. We are waiting for the doors to reopen. We are coming back. The Historic Nancock School is not a temporary experiment. It's an institution in this town, educational in its roots, creative in its present, and deeply supported by the community. The past few weeks have made one thing very clear. This town knows what the Historic Nancock School represents. It values it, and it intends to see it continue. This is also a wonderful pivot point to welcome newer members to the community to join us that for one reason or another felt a need to change a well-established institution in the town. Join us. Let this event be a catalyst for you to join us. We would welcome you and your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment we missed? Okay, well, yeah, Thelma, I'm sorry, you're next. You did sign up. Yeah, I'll get you next. Yeah.
This has nothing to do with what I was up here before about. My name is Thelma Gillespie. I live at 4 Watson Street. And I was born next door, so my whole 75 years has mostly been there. One of the first things I want to ask about, I live down the street from the new Habitat home, and I love it. I love passing, seeing how beautiful it looks, no empty lot with tall grass. I really like it. And if the town, and this is a suggestion, if the town has any more properties that been sitting around, sitting up for years with nobody offering to buy it or whatever, just for tax purpose only, give it to Habitat, let them put a home there, because then the person will have to pay taxes to this town. And it will be money coming back to this town. So I really thank you for the house that you approved before. And I'm hoping that if there's any more empty lots, that you would do the same thing again if no one offers to buy them. My second thing is, now that Joy is no longer part of the town council, who on the town council is now on the Northeast Block Grant Committee? Who represents the town on that committee now?
I think I'm technically on the committee. I haven't been on it because Joy has been representing me, but I thought that's pretty much coming to an end, I think, isn't it?
Oh, December 31st.
Yeah, no, I will be part of that until that.
Okay, and the reason I brought it up is because that we know that there's money still left in that account, and we still have in our neighborhood, 2 houses that are derelict. One that's so bad as you couldn't hardly see it. Well, during the summer months, you can't hardly see it because of the overgrowth. But now you can see it now, and it really is a mess. No one's lived there for over 20 years. I don't know what the tax situation is. We've had several people come in the neighborhood who's gotten information from us to give, give them the name of the owner because they were trying to buy it, to tear the house down, to put a double wide because you can't put double wides in our neighborhood. And the lady refused to sell. So I don't know whether she owes any tax money, but I know she wouldn't take the offer to have the block grant committee tear that house down because I was on that committee and she refused then. But the house is a mess. And the other one is around the corner on the corner of Kerr Street and Boundary Avenue. I don't know what that situation is either, but hopefully someone will get in contact with these people and ask them if they don't want to sell it, clean the lots up, fix the lots up, because it makes the whole neighborhood look bad. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't normally respond, but I've been in touch with Eric at the block grant, administers the block grant, and he's given me the list of the properties we tore down as possible. And he's also given me the list of the several derelict structures. And I wanted to get up with Ashley and I were going to get up a plan. It's a budget item, if we're going to buy property, we'd have to buy property. So I'm working on a plan that we'll submit to the council in the next couple of months, next month to continue what we did up there. And it's up to council. We did that with the current Habitat. We bought the property. I don't think we didn't spend a huge amount of money on that. It was $12,000 or something. Yeah. So it's a budget item about what we want to do with that. And the other item is what to do with the rest of the money. But the couple properties you're talking about, there has been real issues. One of them has 12 different heirs. They don't agree on anything. So that's an issue. But we haven't forgotten about it. We are working on it. And it's probably going to be a town, the town is going to see if we can help you. I can't guarantee that. It's up to council. But there's several there are 3 houses that still need to be torn down, and there's 5 vacant properties now. So unfortunately, one of them's assessed at like $50,000. The one at the end of Boundary, that long, big one there, that tore the house down there. So the property, we're working on it. That's all I can tell you. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Yeah, you're not on this one. Yeah.
I may be repeating a few things. I apologize for that. I'm here, I'm Laura McGowan, and I'm here speaking on behalf of the Anacog School and the tenants there. I've been there for the last 12 years. And I, like all tenants, were asked to move out of our studios. We had 10 days, and I moved the contents of my studio to 4 locations: a storage unit, Morphosis Gallery, who kindly cleared space for my paintings, Janice King's home studio, where she made space for immediate work, and my now very cluttered dining room at home. It took 4 places to stand in for my wonderful studio. I think most tenants are making do in a similar way with non-ideal solutions and a lot of help from our community. I would like to thank the first responders who contained the damage, the town's quick work to get started with the insurance claim, cleanup and repairs, and the community members who stepped up by making space, helping us move, donating to those most affected by this fire, and sending many messages of support. To me, this temporary crisis has shown how important HOS is, not only to its tenants, but the community on the Eastern Shore and beyond. For anyone who thinks it's just a bunch of old artists that are there, anyone who's been there for all the events that are held, both inside and out, the classes that are offered, including line dancing in the past. I don't know if that's still continuing. All different kinds of activities happen there. The main room is rented out by people for parties on a very regular basis, and I'm sure some of those people had to scramble to figure out where else to have their events because the school is just very vital to a lot of people. So, but for some reason, some people seem to be seeing this as an opportunity to close us down or repurpose the school. They think it's in terrible shape and poorly run, and this could not be further from the truth. We've had excellent directors, Joni Donahoe and Corey and Destiny. The staff have been fantastic, and they've, along with the board, have overseen tens of thousands of dollars worth of significant and lasting improvements to the building and grounds, utilizing donations, volunteers, and fundraising events, and all of this at very little cost to Anacog taxpayers. I appreciate the council's prior vote to fund improvements that can't be covered by the Friends of Anacog School nonprofit. And, excuse me. And I am happy that the vote to get the engineering firm started happened tonight, because this seems like a great opportunity to make those improvements with the HVAC and the roof. And I hope that the process can be expedited as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Oh, I got one more. Oh. Priscilla?
Priscilla Hart. I live in downtown Onancock. I am encouraged that we have an engineer working on the repairs to the school. We have some oversight. I think it would be wise to look at the historic Onancock School as a community center. It doesn't necessarily mean repurpose the school, but what this would do would make it available to all residents of Onancock. The town has agreed to fund improvements, and that is with taxpayer money. We know the town owns the building. I also recall at one of the last town council meetings, there was going to be a new lease drawn up. And within that new lease, there were thoughts of raising the rent from $1 a year. I recommend doing that. I think that would be prudent. And also, I would like to suggest that somewhere in that new structure for the historic Onancock School, along with the artists, we do make it a community center, not just events from time to time, but a place where members of the community really feel as if they can utilize the space. Now, I know that the school is leased to Friends of Onancock School. Somewhere within that lease, there ought to be some, how should I say, some opportunity for locals who live in Onancock to utilize the building, and not for rent. Taxpayer dollars are already paying for the improvements. FOS has been paying $1 a year for many years. So let's be clear on this. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you for public comment. All right, mayor's report. I don't have too much. Mostly, we have the parade coming up, St. Patrick's Day Parade, Saturday after next. Council, we're gonna do your golf cart again? Yeah, so we have, let me know if you're interested in riding in the golf cart or walking. We just, it takes like literally 10 minutes we're the second unit, so, but we do have a golf cart that seats 6, right? And some people can walk if you want to, depending on the weather. So I do need your,
Is that from 3 to 5, Metro?
I think, starts at 3, yes, right, yeah, okay. So, it's a fun day, it's just a lot of people show up, it'd be a good time. So just let me know if you want to participate, and I guess we're gonna decorate the cart a little bit, It's, Cindy's golf cart, yeah. Well, I put the sign on last year. Yeah. All right. Then another thing just for council, there's a small town conference coming up in Chincoteague. If you haven't registered for that, please do.
Okay, I was gonna ask you about that tonight.
Yes, when you register for that, just please bill me and then put the town address and they'll send an invoice to the town. But that's a big thing. We're trying to get, as people are coming through to Chincoteague, we're trying to, I talked to Michelle Gowdy would like us, to have maybe something here to show that they could stop through for a few minutes. So that maybe the Lilson building, the project we did there, or our wharf, something like that, just to show what we're doing, because everybody's going to be driving right by us to get to Chincoteague.
It's like May 13th through the 15th or something.
Yeah, it's a Friday and Saturday in May. You don't have to,
Hold on, I've got it.
yeah, but you do need to register for it and the town will cover
The
your.
13th through the 15th, which is Wednesday through Friday.
Yeah, and you don't have to go, the whole time, but it's a good thing. It's the first time they've ever had a small town conference on the Eastern Shore. It's kind of a big deal. So, it'd be nice. All right. There's, ongoing bills in the General Assembly. I don't know if you're getting the same thing as I am from VML. There's some really horrible land use bills out there to restrict what we can do with zoning. Please, at this point, I think you just reply on your own to the VDOT, VML sending out things to, if you send a letter to the people, I don't know if it'll help or not at this stage, but there's a couple bills that are still, some of them have been defeated that aren't going to hurt us. So anyway, that's still going on. And I think that's about.
One of them, though, they have a population size.
Yeah, we've been eliminated. 2 of them, 2 bills didn't affect us because we're too small, which is nice. But the one about, that being able to use nonprofits to build any kind of housing they want to without any zoning approval is a little worrisome. And that's that. And then there's another one that says we're going to have to, I don't know what, change over all of our emails to .gov, which is not going to kill us, but that, I don't know where
your
that's.
website, your domain, everything.
Yeah, but yeah, we could do that without a huge expense, and then the other one is to tell us that when we post an agenda, we're not going to be able to change it at the meeting, which is somewhat, we do occasionally have to make agenda changes. So Sorry about that. Anyway, so that's that's all I have. Town manager support, Bill?
About the interfund transfers in the reserve account. There've been some question raised, and I'll ask Debbie to address that for you.
So I did put an updated cash and reserve report for you guys to see. I spent quite a bit of time on the phone with our rep from VIP, which is the Virginia Investment Pool. And I asked him to break down each of the funds and how they should be reported. And he was kind enough to spend 45 minutes with me on the phone. So I have updated that. It just honestly, it's a learning curve right now. So we did not lose any money in the reserves. All of our reserves are funded properly according to our policies that have been established in our financial policy. So that's where that is. And I do have copies if anybody else would like any. Right now, we have $5.1 million in the reserves.
I just want to add that one of the things you find when you lose, key people is that you've lost some institutional memory, and especially in small places where people are spread pretty thin. A lot of the information doesn't get all the way down. It's not that somebody meant to hold anything back or did anything like that, but people are so busy doing what they're doing that they will forget to tell them about where all the funds are or where all the different things are. I've been doing this for a number of years, and I have yet to find a single jurisdiction, whether big or small, that loss of some of the institutional memory hasn't caused hiccups and potholes and bumps in the road. And I think you're still going to experience them. And we're just going to find out where they are and figure them out. So if you have any questions on those, please let us know. I think we've talked about at Nancock School. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the HRSD, the water sewage treatment plant, and the water billing system. Speaking of hiccups, we've run into a hiccup. It turns out that HRSD does not have ownership of any of the wastewater system. They do have ownership of the plant. They don't have ownership of the lines or the pump stations. I'm going to be working with a gentleman by the name of Sam McAdoo, who is the small community managers for HRSD, and we're going to figure out how to get this done, how to identify those parcels and what needs to take place. One of the things I do know you'll need to do is at some point when we get them together is to have a public hearing for the disposal of the properties. That'll be of sewer lines and sewer pump stations. HRSD has been, to me, very good to us in that they have done the maintenance and that sort of thing on the lines, and actually have done improvements to pump stations without having that ownership. The other thing with the water billing system, not all the meters are in. We have a hiccup there. The town is not in any contract with HRSD. HRSD is in a contract for the installation of those meters. The contractor has stopped putting them in, and I think we're like 74 meters short. HRSD is working about getting those in, either getting the contractor to do it or find some way of getting it done itself. but we will not be able to change the billing system with HRSD until all the meters are in and operational, because their billing system hardware is geared up for the meter system that's being put in. So please let me know if you have any question on what's happening there. Please let me know. The chipper has arrived. It is back in town. And tomorrow we will begin shipping. If just depending on the weather, if it's like it's today, you'll hear the chipper humming. One of the things I want to say is I take the responsibility of telling you all right now, if it is raining or if there is only one person available, the chipper will not run. I will never, ever, ever let a chipper run with one person. So if they're down, you can call me. I'll tell you why it's down. But I want you to know those are two things that I will tell you that it will be down for. There have been, the residents and staff have gone through the frozen pipes and all that. I think that's over. Thank goodness. We hope we don't have to deal with that for another long time. With that, been my report. Unless you have something you would like to ask me and report on.
I'd like to get clarification on one of the things you said about HRSD. I know that there were some of the pump stations that there were issues transferring ownership, but I had understood that most of them had been shifted over, no?
Well, but that raises the question about the grant they are getting from is it from the state or from the feds? They're getting $750,000 from US Feds, USDA.
That's to redo some pump stations.
Free pump stations, it says in the town. That's what I was wondering. if they did,
They're doing it for our, that we still own, right?
But did we give, I mean, it's not their property.
Yeah,
I'm not going to argue if they want to improve the pump station.
I don't know. I can't tell you historically what's happened. I can tell you that I went into mild shock when I found out that they had not been. We may own them. What's happened is, for whatever reason, they have not been turned over to HRSD. So like pump station number 5 may well be on town property, but that property needs to be in the hands of HRSD.
I think it has been a problem of the ownership of the right of ways and stuff. I think that's what's been holding, since day one, we knew this was going to be.
Well, we changed lawyers in the middle of the problem. That was
Oh,
they just dropped the ball and they were, that's the problem. Yeah. Yeah.
I got a question. Because of some of the new meters that were put in, see, I'm the mailman. So I'm the one who takes all the people the water bills.
Got you.
Okay. So my question is this, because they keep asking me, and because I'm on the council. Are the houses that got the new water meters, are they being built differently because they're on the new meters? I mean, I heard you say the billing situation. Because some of, let me tell you why, because some of the, like I said, I'm giving out water bills, and I mean, I've seen bills from, not seen them, but I've heard people talk to me, or even seen them, whatever. I've seen them as low as $35 to some up to like $670, and I give it to them, well, what the, are you serious? And then I get some people, I give it to them, oh, this must be a mistake. Let me go ahead and pay this real quick. So is this, I mean, the fact that, some of the meters, some people got the new meters, are they being billed under the new meters or?
Yes. So there was what we call cycle 1. Those bills that went out in November were estimated reads because we did not have all of the meters in the ground yet. So there was no way for our guys to physically read old meters and new meters, and half the cycle was done, half the cycle wasn't done. So cycle one, November bills were estimated reads. Everything now has gotten switched out. It has all been switched out in our software. So cycle one got billed again in February because we bill bi-monthly. So we had to reconcile the actual usage
From the old
to,
meter.
from the old meter. And then you got billed on the new meter. Cycle two, our bills are going out today. Those have been accurate. Those have been actual reads off the old meters, and then they're getting ready to be actual reads off of the new meters.
And new meters will read more flow.
But the billing's the same, fees are the same, we're not changing.
we haven't-
Yeah, they're
We got a new meter.
I mean,
Yeah.
that I get, but.
Like cycle one, if they underestimated your usage in November, you had to catch that up.
Right.
Your
And then
cycle
you get
two.
billed on the new meter.
Right.
And the one thing I'll tell you for sure is the new meters are much more accurate.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Sometimes I talk to the guys when they were installing, as I'm walking. through,
Yeah.
I'm seeing this all.
Any other questions for the town manager? Okay. Financial report, have we got that? Look at any questions about that?
I have a couple questions, but I'll email
Okay.
the town staff.
Okay, all right, town, comments, Omar?
One, I really hope that we can do something, or at least get something started in the Northeast and that, in the park. I mean, again, I keep referring to the mailman thing, but I haven't seen a lot of people in a lot of days. But like today and yesterday, it was like everybody was out. You know, the dogs is out, the people walking, the joggers, the this, to that, the other thing. And even over at the park, there were quite a few kids over there because they had early dismissal today. So, you know, even if we can just start, you know, if we got to start with the 2 benches, a bench, some type of progress to get that started. Because the weather's getting ready to break, and, you know, let's get that park started, because, you know, you guys gave a great presentation. You know, it wasn't a presentation of give us all or give us nothing. It was like, okay, let's have something going on where we can at least say, okay, they are doing something. We are getting, you know, some of the benches, because you was just there and still couldn't sit down, you know, and we got to have nice days. So I really hope that we can get that started. That's one. Two, again, as the mailman, I drove past that school every day after the fire, and the parking lot was full with people clearing, cleaning, carrying, helping, moving out. It was kind of cool to see the town, you know, get together like they did. So I get it, you know, it was a good thing to see. I asked you about the water thing already. That's it. Thank you, guys. Happy spring almost.
My only comment is just the continued support for the Northeast Park project. I think everything else that we've talked about tonight has gone fine and gone off without a hitch. So just trying to see how we're able to bring that project to fruition for the residents in that area is probably the only concern at this point. Everything else seems to be running smoothly.
I want to say thank you to the Public Works Department. I had a big tree limb come down that was partly in the street, and by the middle of the day that day, they had cut it and either taken some of it away or thrown it back over into my yard so that it was out of the street. And I didn't call anybody and ask for that to happen. They were out there looking for what needed to be done and doing it without saying, we just did this for you. They just did it. And so I just want to say hats off to them for that. also to ANAC. We're not ANAC, but they worked literally around the clock. My power was restored at 1:45 in the morning on the day that it came back. I was not up watching it. That's when the email was timed that was triggered by their work. But I just want to say how grateful I am that they are that diligent and dedicated and doing that. And to the town office for, and all of the town staff for all that y'all are doing. And thank you, Bill, for the perspective that you gave of the fact that any place there are going to be glitches when somebody has left. And I appreciate all that everybody is doing to get to the bottom of things and work through things to keep things going smoothly. So I can't see your eyes, Debbie, but that's for you, that's for Hannah, that's for Chief, that's for Bill, for and for everybody. So thank you.
I can't tell you how many hours switching out 800 meters in our software system. That is an enormous amount of time. She's not here tonight, but that's a lot of work. It's a lot of data entry. A lot of dual monitors and eyes crossing.
So thank you.
I want to thank Debbie and Bill for clarifying our financial situation. Until we discussed it and I got this sheet tonight, I really didn't know what our financial situation was. So thank you very much for finding the accounts that we'd lost track of. Thank you.
Hat tip to Bill for coming here and hitting the ground running. And thank you so much for all you're doing. And I think you got up to speed as quickly as anybody could. And so thank you for that. And I echo Bill's comments and Sarah's comments about the town staff. I mean, really, it's just unbelievable. And just to manage expectations, they will be continuing to carry more than their share of water after we have a new TM, because it will take considerable effort on their part to bring in another new person and help that person get up and running. So hopefully we'll all be able to remember that. Two other things real quick. I entirely, totally, and wholeheartedly support doing as much as we can for Northeast as quickly as we can within the bounds of what's feasible as far as the budget. So I don't want to be unambiguous about that. And if there's anything I can do to help, I'm happy to do that. OMS, I wholeheartedly support OMS. They do great things. I'm all for matching money whenever we can get it, we should. I just know that sometimes when I've sat out there in those seats, it wasn't always clear to me what was being decided up here. And so I think it's important that things be really clear, not just to the 9 people up here, but to everybody out there and everybody out there. And that we should be able to look back in the future on what we decided and know what we decided. So I'm for clarity, fiscal responsibility, and good stewardship of town money.
She's running for office.
I really didn't mean it to come out like that. But I did mean it.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.